Mr. Foreman, it is an absolute honor, sir. How are you doing today?
Jake is so happy. I'm happy to be with you.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I'm going to jump into this because I do have so many questions for you. There is that old expression that I've always believed in, I've always heard my whole life, that you learn more from the losses than you do the wins. I think this movie really exemplifies that. So much has been written about your wins, your knockouts, your championships. What's the most important loss of your career, the one that taught you the most as a fighter and as a person?
Boy, the ring was easy when you consider what has happened to me outside the ring. You lose a family because you were ignorant enough not to keep it together. That broke me down. To be able to go through a divorce is about the worst thing that could happen to a human being. And I was able to get up from that, and yet it still weighs on you a little bit. But boxing, that was child's play.
Redefines the word knockout in a lot of ways for you.
It does.
Angie Dundee, Ali's trainer, right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
You know, it's hard to believe earlier this year, just a few months ago, the 50th anniversary of the Sunshine Showdown, down goes Frazier, you beating Joe Frazier, becoming the heavyweight champion of the world. You've talked about it a lot, but what is the small detail of that fight, of those 2 rounds, of those couple of minutes inside that ring that 50 years later still stands out to you to this day?
Well, the greatest moment was after the fight when you see me jumping in the air, shouting and happy about it. It was the last time I was truly happy about winning a boxing match. If you watch the matches from that point on, maybe I'd glimpse, maybe I'd smile, because there's a lot of misery in winning because you don't know about losing. But I look back almost 50 years later, and there I was, happy to become champion of the world. Wasn't happy in the other victories at all.
Do you remember the last punch you threw? Not sparring or working out or playfully, but like the last punch you threw to like really hurt somebody?
I was in the ring with Michael Moore, and I'd been practicing for months how to go with the left, right, go with the left, right. And finally, I was able to do it in the ring, and I threw a right hand, straight right hand, and down Michael Moore went. I'll never forget that because it was the one thing I had practiced and got into the ring and executed. I'll never forget that one punch. When you practice something and do it, it wasn't like, he was lucky. I actually executed something I'd been working on. I'll never forget that.
I can see that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I can see that punch in my head. You know, this movie really does a great job of exploring initially what seemed like a very aggressive relationship between you and Muhammad Ali leading up to the Rumble in the Jungle. But then the two of you were friends for decades, all the way up to his passing. And that bridge has always fascinated me. How do you go from that iconic image from Rumble in the Jungle to being best friends for decades? How did that happen exactly?
The most devastating moment in my life was to lose that title to Muhammad Ali in Africa. I'd wake up in the night still fighting that fight, wake up fighting that fight. But then I found my religion and found a little peace of mind and realized I'd had an opportunity to have the best friend in the world. We wasted a lot of years. And then with the advent of the cell phones, we could even watch each other on that. We became the most loving person in my life. I fell in love with the guy. I love the guy to this day. He's gone and I miss him. And I don't know how it happened, but I realized I should have spent more years being friends with him.
Well, I'm glad that we've had the years that we've had with you, sir. It has been an honor loving you for so many decades. Like I said, I'm from Houston, so I was raised worshiping you, sir. I'm talking to you from Chicago now. But seriously, I cannot thank you enough for doing this junket and giving us the honor of talking with you, man. It's an absolute honor.
Chicago, the home of the best restaurants in the world.
When you come through, dinner and drinks are on me, sir.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.